I'm Dr. Ashley, and this is From Her Point of View. Welcome to episode 1 of From Her Point of View. I'm Ashley. I'm a wife, mother, and a professor. I'm looking forward to the many conversations we're going to have and the insights we're going to share. Let me introduce you to my co-founder, Sherry. She's an integral part of From Her Point of View. Sherry, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Good day, fine folks. I am Sherry, and I am excited to connect with you all through her point of view. Just a little tidbit about myself. I love to learn about new things, and I love to try new things. I encourage other people to step outside of their comfort zone. I am currently finishing up my bachelor's degree at 37 years old, and I am super excited. Side note, it's never too late to learn. Through this podcast series, it is my hope that women will find that voice buried deep inside and let it out. As women, we have so much to offer the world, more than many of us know and more than we get credit for. I believe in the power of community, and through this podcast, women will be able to connect, discuss, and figure things out on an open forum that is honest and authentic. I know there is so much we can learn from each other. So let the conversation begin.
So why are women not talking about these things that are going on in their lives? And why are they not sharing with friends and family is a really good question.
Well, from my experience, growing up, what happened in our home stays in our home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's typical of all, most families, within our culture. But like I said, what happens in the home stays in the home. So say you're going through something at home. You might talk to your sibling or somebody in the house about it.
If you do that.
If that. But you're not going to take what happens there outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so so much of what we do comes from what we're raised in.
What was deemed okay and what was not.
Right. So we take that with us as adults. On top of the fact that some of the things that we're going through is embarrassing.
Very.
Let's just be honest about it. It's embarrassing. We may not necessarily want to admit that we have this going on in our life right now. We know we're better than that, or we know that we shouldn't be in this situation. Mm-hmm. But one, we are not going to talk about it because it's embarrassing. 2, we don't know how to get out of it. 3, should we get out of it, we don't know what we're going to do next because that which we have become involved in becomes comfortable.
Yep.
It becomes, dare I say, safe because that's what you know.
The reality is that whatever situation you're in at that time, whether good or bad, you do become comfortable, and it's more afraid to not know what something could be than to know what it is.
Go with what you know.
So you may stay in a certain situation or continue to experience something that's uncomfortable or embarrassing to you because you don't know what life would be like outside of that. And like Ashley said, we're brought up to not tell anybody anything. And a lot of times it's like what goes on in this house stays in this house. So how dare you go and tell your friends what's happening here, or go to school and share with a classmate, or go to work and share with a coworker or whoever. It was never okay. So now we're in a space where we're going through these things and then we're holding them in. Mm-hmm. And it's causing more harm to us than good. Mm-hmm. Women are suffering from depression. Women are battling different mental illnesses that they're not even aware of. Mothers are experiencing PTSD,
postpartum depression.
Relationships are not working out because of something that you're harboring and you're not able to discuss. Kids are being abused and parents are taking things out on them because they just don't know how to fix whatever's going on in their life.
This conversation brings to mind part of my research for my recent dissertation that I completed last year. And one of the concepts that our research was the different ways that African American women are perceived. The title of my dissertation was Leadership Opportunities Among African American Women in Corporate America. It was a constructivist study, qualitative study. I spent time with 11 different women in at least a director or higher level position within corporate America. And as we were just talking now about the way that we've been raised to kind of keep things to ourselves, I also believe that as women, we're raised to be very strong. Mm-hmm. We're raised to be able to carry the weight of the world, of our children, of our families, of our men, of, whomever we're in a relationship with. We're raised to carry that on our shoulders. Within that research, I talked about the concept of the strong black woman. And I'm sure you've all heard that before.
Very common term. And it can be, the strong black woman can be looked at in many different ways.
Right.
It has a positive side to it, and then it also has a negative side to it.
So the strong black woman image was developed to highlight the struggle and the survival and the resiliency of African American women. And so we've carried things that may not necessarily have been for us to carry. And we are raised that way. We are groomed to be strong and to be independent. And within that, we take on things
that we necessarily
that we may not necessarily need to be taken on or carrying by ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's because we've come to expect that we're going to carry it by ourselves. Yeah. Even if you have a partner, if you have a support system. And I'm trying not to speak in general terms because I don't want to speak for everyone.
Yeah.
But, enough of us have been in that place.
And understand that we're only speaking solely from our own experiences and knowledge and what we know and the things that we've been through and how we have seen things play out. So everybody's situation is not going to be the same. We're not saying that all women are like this. We're saying from what we know and from what we've seen and what we've experienced, the women that we've come across more so than not are that strong woman mentality where they just make it work or they just fix it or they just figure it out when we shouldn't have to. I feel like a woman is an asset, and a lot of times because we just...
But I think that not only do we know that we're an asset,
the people that are around us...
They know that we're an asset.
And they take advantage of it. They take advantage of it because we allow them to.
Yeah.
And we allow them to because we just feel like it's better to just go with the flow of things because this has become a system for us to just do it,
get it done,
than to wait for someone else to do it or wait for somebody else to figure it out or to even ask for help. Like, that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of us is to just ask for help.
Speaking of, I read an article yesterday that was about mothers and saying that, we're burned out basically. Mothers are. But self-care is not enough.
Let's pause. Mothers are burnt out. Why though? Why are mothers burnt out?
Mothers are burnt out because they are carrying the roles and responsibilities of several different people within one person. Mm-hmm. So you are the nurse, you are the teacher, you are the nurturer, you are the caregiver, you're
the cook, you're the house cleaner,
the housekeeper, you are the person that sits there and listens to whomever is, whatever they're going through. So you're carrying different roles. And in this particular article, and I will have to go back so I can give credit to the author, said that not only that self-care is just not enough. And we're gonna cover self-care in another podcast. But another episode rather, not another podcast. It's all the same one. But self-care is not enough. They say that because, you have, let's use a stay-at-home mom, for example. She stays at home. She's taking care of the kids all day. And then after she's taken care of everything all day and cleaned and cooked and put the kids to bed, then she could
focus on
take
herself.
a bath and relax with a glass of wine maybe. Or then she can go out, get her nails done, get her hair done, or whatever, feels good to her, whatever self-care is good for her. But at that point, she may be so tired that she can't just get herself together and be like, did I do everything I need to do? Dinner's in the oven. Just go ahead and put that on, and then I'm going to go do this, and I'll be back by such and such time and make sure that this is done.
She can't turn off the responsibilities that she has to focus on herself. So even if she's going to get a massage, per se, while getting a massage, can she fully relax?
Just relax. Like you said, relax. Lean into it. Can you do that? Or are you thinking about
what you're going to cook for dinner? What time you got to get back? Does Susie need, help with her homework? How's the school project going? You just can't turn it off. So does self-care even really exist for a lot of women?
It exists. I believe it does exist. I just feel like we have to reframe it, because if you have to cross all the T's and dot all the I's before you can take care of yourself, are you really taking care of yourself? Are you getting an hour reprieve? I mean, what's really happening here?
Yeah.
Also within the article, they talked about how the village has changed. I know most of us have heard the term that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, so many of us are spread out from our village. So in my particular case, my parents, my family lives at least 80 miles away. So if I want an evening, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to travel 80 miles for an evening. We've lived in our community for about 10 years now. So we've built relationships there. And, we trust the people that our children, the families that our children are involved with. But it's a different thing to have that trust that you can really just let your hair down and know that the child is taken care of.
Go over there.
Because nobody's really going to take care of your child like your family.
Like
not everybody's family, but
sad but true.
So that's part of it. That's part of the self-care for the mothers, for the families, is that there's not the village that there used to be for parents and for mothers specifically. Which
says a lot for women and the things that we take on and the responsibilities that we have to deal with day to day. And no discount to the men, but I just feel like unless you're a single father, you don't know what it's like to be a single mother. Because a single father takes on the responsibility like a mom would, where you have to do everything. If you're in a relationship or you just have kids with someone, and again, I don't have any children, so I'm just speaking from others' experiences, you're not able to fully understand the extent of what a woman has to go through when she has a child. And whether you're there or not, like, what is it that is required to raise this child? And I don't think that I can dispute that the support is not always there.
I agree. But we also want to highlight some positivity.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the things that we're going through. We want to support each other. We want to be there for each other. And that's one aspect of the positivity, is that the village that is not there, we can create
amongst
for ourselves.
Yeah.
We can be there for our friends. We can be there for our family members. And hopefully that'll be reciprocal. It'll go both ways. She'll help you you'll help her because you know what she's going through, and you know what that feels like. You don't want her to go through that, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So we also, within this labor of love, which is what this is, we are going to highlight the positive aspects of being a woman, of being a mother, of being a wife. I mean, there are very positive aspects of that. There are of being an executive, of being, a friend, because at the very foundation of it all, that's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to be friends. We're all trying to take care of each other. That's what we want for ourselves, and that's what we want for the women that are closest to us.
Exactly what Ashley said. And understand that, there's full transparency here. We're going to be as open and honest as we can when speaking in regards to the things that we're talking about. May not like it. It's not going to be sugar-coated. So we just hope that it's received the right way. And if it's not, then
it's okay.
It's not for everybody.
Everything's not for everybody.
Our purpose in this is strictly that. Our purpose in this. We feel like we're coming in this space with open hearts, open minds, and ultimately our goal is to help one another and to the best of our ability. So that's what we'll be doing.
You've been listening to From Her Point of View. From Her Point of View is a podcast covering a wide range of topics. The content is specifically curated for women by women. To give feedback or for questions, please reach out to us at 443-507-8032. Also email fromherpointofview@gmail.com. Please visit the podcast website fromherpointofview.podbean.com. Also the Facebook page From Her Point of View. Tune in weekly to hear it from her point of view.